Elon Musk is a threat to our democracy. Allowing him to uncover fraud in the misappropriation of taxpayer dollars is somehow a constitutional crisis. Let me remind you all what you'll be losing if Elon Musk is not stopped. Americans will not benefit from the $2 million spent on a pancake eating contest in Mongolia. They will not benefit from the $4 million to fund a tampon throwing contest in Dubai. They will not benefit from the $8 million to produce Pimp My Ride in Zimbabwe. Hello?
We got it.
Got what?
Evidence that USAID is actually really beneficial to the American people.
Okay, I'll be right there.
It came in 10 minutes ago. I'm sure this will make Americans really supportive of USAID.
Elmo wants to jihad. Elmo wants women to not show their ankles. Elmo wants to teach your son how to throw a stone really hard. This is exactly what the American people will lose if we don't stop Elon Musk.
I agree. Look at this. On the left is one of Musk's cronies. He goes by the alias Big Balls. I suspect it's a nickname he gave himself so people think he's packing, but by the looks of it, I'd say his balls aren't really that big. He recently recommended cutting $16 million funding an Afghanistan version of Karate Kid, which makes him the biggest threat to our democracy to date.
My God, it's a constitutional crisis.
We're sending a man inside Doge to gather information. This is our spy, David Hogg, codenamed Teeny Tiny Teensy Weensy Balls.
Are you sure this will work?
It's a 50-50 shot. My only concern is that he's too masculine to masquerade as a genius.
Oh my God.
Welcome.
Who makes this stuff?
I don't know. That's pretty funny though. Probably spot on. Do you like it better looks this way or this way?
That's fine.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine, yeah.
That's cool. I like to welcome back Paloma for Trump. She hasn't been on quite a bit here. So,
I know it's been a few months. I was trying to come back. I think it was a month ago, but I just had so much going on. I apologize. It was really hard to connect with you.
I tried to go on earlier because of especially the Wimkin platform that a lot of the viewers, there's a lot of shows that come on at 7 p.m. our time. So I try to go on like at 5 or 5, 5 or maybe 6 at the latest, so they don't overlap.
Yeah.
A lot of the same people watch both shows, so you split up the views that way. And so you can't get the thousands of views. You get more like a few hundred, type thing. So in fact, I should open up Cloud Hub here while you're talking. So tell a little bit about yourself for those who don't know anything about you. Paloma.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've been an activist for now. I've been a conservative activist now for 10 years, which is almost hard to believe. Just a couple of days ago, I was telling one of my friends that it seems like I just got involved in politics, and yet somehow 10 years just went by. Oh my God. I remember Donald Trump coming down that escalator, and that's the day that I got officially involved, even though I had already been sort of expressing my views prior to that in LA, just because I saw a lot of the things that were going on in LA, the illegal immigration that was basically destroying the city, and which was weird for me to say because I'm an immigrant myself. But when I started going into places where people didn't speak English anymore, where people where it just didn't seem like America anymore. It was uncomfortable to me, even though I speak perfect Spanish, everything else. But I'm from Mexico. I speak perfect Spanish. But I wanted to have America, and I wanted to have Mexico. I didn't want to have Mexico in America, which is what's been happening in LA for the last 20 years now. Maybe a little bit longer, I guess.
You grew up mostly in America, though.
Yeah, I did. I grew up mostly in America, even though I do spend a lot of time in Mexico. I'm very, very, very much connected to Mexico. I am in Mexico right now as we speak, hoping that President Trump doesn't bomb one of our neighborhoods here, because they just issued a statement saying that they're going to start a strike on the cartels. Tijuana is one of the biggest cartel cities in all of Mexico, for distribution mainly. For production, there's other places that are very, very, very deep in the forests and the deserts and stuff like that of Mexico. I think it'll be hard to find them, even though obviously the U.S. has probably some of the best intelligence in the world. But even so, it'll be really hard to find them because they also have a lot of intelligence, and they also have a lot of arsenal and a lot of weapons that Obama and other presidents have provided to them over the years, which is the reason why Mexican cartels have so much power, because previous administrations, American administrations, have given them that power, which is why now President Claudia Sheinbaum is so upset because she's being blamed for collaborating with the cartels. I don't think that she's necessarily collaborating in the way that people think she is. It's the fact that the cartels are too powerful. But who made them this powerful? It was Obama. He did the same thing to Mexico, to Honduras, to Guatemala. Same thing. That's why the Honduran people, they hate America so much, because Honduras is almost impossible to live at. I've talked to hundreds of Honduran migrants, and they all agree on the same thing. They tell you, well, one of the reasons why we want to leave our country is because it's so dangerous. There are so many weapons out on the street. The cartels, the police can't even fight against them anymore. They can't control them. But who gave them those weapons? Obama gave them those weapons.
Wow.
Same thing with Venezuela.
Same thing with Venezuela.
Wow.
Yeah, not cartels, the gangs down there real bad, and they've come to America now.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's a complicated issue. It's not as simple as, well, we're going to stop selling drugs. We're going to stop producing drugs. Now, this is something that I've been talking about, and I hope a lot of people see this video, because I'm very passionate about this. I'm very passionate about health, about mental health. Because America has a huge epidemic when it comes to mental health and mental illness. And the reason why Mexico is such a huge supplier, and this is not to justify Mexico producing all these drugs, but one of the reasons why Mexico has such a huge demand for drugs is because America wants it. America is asking for it. It's not just the people that are out there getting it glazed stuff that they weren't supposed to get or whatever, or being tricked into it. Guys, we have a huge epidemic in America when it comes to mental illness. It comes from the sugars that we eat, the chemicals in our food, the chemicals that we breathe, whatever they put in our water, whatever they spray in our environment. Let me tell you this. When I am in America, I don't want to say I'm a different person, but I feel different when I'm in America, especially after being there for so long, especially in certain areas. I notice obviously, maybe my diet does change a little, because obviously I'm not going to eat the same in Mexico as I do in America. Everything is different. But it's not just that. I eat healthier, technically, when I'm in America. Technically, I eat healthier. Technically, I have a more laid back life. Yet I feel like my immune system is a little more reactive when I'm in America. So what that tells me is that somehow there are more allergens in the food, in the air, in the water, whatever it may be. I mean, in neither country I eat a lot of sugar. So
I just did a
something
show with some people about the cloud seeding or spraying, dusting of the things. They actually
and I see that a lot when I'm in Pennsylvania. You've been to my home in Pennsylvania, and I'll be laying out in the backyard and whatever, and I'll see these planes just spraying stuff in the middle of the summer. Like, what the hell are they spraying? Now, President Trump in the recent days made a statement about these chemtrails. I 100% believe they're somehow poisoning our air. I mean, I feel different when I'm in America. So
admitted, oh yeah, I was up there spraying after he landed. They caught him after he landed, and was talking to him and said, I just do follow orders and that kind of stuff like that is what he was saying. But he admitted they was spraying it. Oh, we lost your picture, but we can still hear you.
Yeah, give me a second. I have to get a drink of water. 1 second. Speaking of water, I got to get a drink of water. 1 second.
Okay.
One of the things that I really wanted to talk about, because I think it's such a crucial issue for America, is what's going on with with the drug abuse. Because again, if we didn't have the demand for the drugs that we have, Mexico wouldn't. They look. If you don't have a buyer, you don't have a seller. It's that simple.
Exactly.
If something
Supply and
doesn't sell at the
demand.
groceries, it's supply and demand. The basic law of supply and demand. And so obviously America right now, President Trump made a lot of promises when it comes to the cartel. I mean, I 100% stand with President Trump. However, I do think that it's a much bigger problem. Guys, let me tell you something. I made a post in 2023. Okay, 2023. I'm going to read that post to you right now. Let me find it real quick on my page. I'm going to tell you exactly what I said in 2023. You can go back, you can fact check me, because as I told you guys, I spend a lot of time in both countries. So I truly have firsthand knowledge of what's going on. This is why a lot of my videos in the past have gotten millions of views, because I travel back and forth and I see what's going on. Let me read something to you that I posted back in 2023. And just last week, President Trump said the exact same thing. Claudia Sheinbaum, President of Mexico, said the exact same thing. But let me read my post to you. Hold on, let me find right here. I said, why does Mexico, this was March 11th of 2023. I said, why does Mexico not have the same drug problem as America does? Though we have it all around, because we do. It's in every corner. We have drugs in every corner if we really want them. And I said, because we are a more family-oriented country. Where being a junkie is really looked down upon. And we have constant awareness campaigns about what drugs do to us, which if these loudmouth Republicans worked on, they could maybe help the population in America. But it's easier to blame the supplier so they can have something to campaign on for 2024. Because I wrote this in 2023. What bothers me is that there's a lot of Republicans that are elected. God forbid Kamala would have won that election. I don't know where we would be right now, because those Republicans aren't doing anything. They do nothing,
J6ers would still be in jail. Now, where Ellen is, they're giving them free needles and everything, and all that kind of stuff.
In San Francisco, the government, public health,
that's not helping.
3 million needles to the drug abusers and drug dealers to support them to be on illegal drugs. The government is part of the problem. So
let me tell you what President Trump said. He said exactly the same thing I said about this drug use. And there are a lot of different issues. Let me tell you. Republicans do nothing if it wasn't for President Trump. Now they feel very proud. He won. Okay, that's fine. That's great. But it's not just about having the White House. You could do a lot more when you're an elected official, even if you don't have the federal power that you wish you had. There's a reason why districts elect their congressional candidates, their representatives. Why? Because they want them to work at a local level. Yeah, you do want that voice in Washington. Yes, you do. You want that federal voice. You want those federal issues, but you also want those local issues. You should also be able to be a local leader. We're at a time in history where it can't be about all talk, which is what we've seen with all the politicians, the career politicians. This is what they've done for years. All talk, no action, all talk, no action. Now, if you have an elected official in Florida and Texas and California and whatever they may be, in Georgia, do something. There's so much intelligence out there that these people could use. There's so many resources, but here's what they do. They spend 2 years campaigning for their next election, campaigning for the next election, campaigning for the next election. So they end up doing nothing. Now, President Trump, thank God, wins the White House this time. And thank God, hopefully we'll be able to get a lot done over the next 4 years. But President Trump needs a lot of help too, because this is where Elon Musk is very much appreciated and where he comes in. And then that's what he says. President Trump can't do it all alone. And Elon Musk calls himself tech support, which I know what he means by that. I mean, obviously he's a tech guy, but what that means is that he could he's capable of so much because of what he's able to do with technology. But again, it's not just Elon Musk and Donald Trump. There are 200 and something elected officials all throughout the country when it comes to the House, plus senators, plus governors, plus all kinds of different people that should be starting campaigns against drug use.
State senates,
exactly
matter. Election law matters. Do you know that Trump won every state that there was voter ID, and he lost everyone that there wasn't voter ID?
Well, that tells you something.
Go
The people
figure.
are liars and cheaters, and the machine are flip flop. This
Exactly.
show it to America that our nation has been infiltrated by a group of gangsters, government gangsters inside the government in all levels. And those
Yeah.
people sold their soul to Satan. I call them satanic leaders. They no longer represent the people of America. They represent themselves. You're right. Loma, you just call them career politicians. That's exactly right.
Mhm.
When they run into the government, they stay there forever and for the sake of benefit themselves and their loved ones and families. And I'm so glad that Elon Musk right now is tracing the money. How did they get so much money and
Congress should
who
be doing that.
related to the money? I hope someday soon that it will display it in there, and President Trump's executive order, it will be impact and all this money will be confiscated and back to the people in the United States. And and for all those drug dealers, drug cartels, and the politicians, the damage they done to the people pass away, people are suffering from overdose, drugs, mental health issues, and homelessness. They they should be confiscate all their access and give it back to the restitution for the people who pass away, for their families, and the victims in rehab. Rehab should not be using my property tax money, my sales tax money, and
Well,
my wages money because it's my money. That
now,
has
Alan,
nothing to
where
do
you are,
with
they
the
just caught
cartels.
90 drug dealers, didn't they?
Oh, 90 drug dealer. This is San Francisco in February 27, which is 2 days ago. That the headline was like, "Whoa, look at that! The police busted 90 drug dealers, drugs related people." Now, I personally do not believe 100% for everything I read in the media. For one
Right.
thing, I have questions. I would ask, okay, so you arrest 90 people. My question number one is, did you did you fingerprint them and facial recognize them and take their picture and detain them at least 72 hours? Because the court
Because they let them
require
out there, don't they?
within 72 hours they have to go to court and see a judge, whether they are on bail or whether detained and for the next court day. That's number one. Number two, if they arrest 90 people, and are all those 90 people a first offender, a repeat offender, or do they have any records? And in what district? Because San Francisco have a drug problem, an average for the last, I would say, minimum 4 years, about 1,000 people pass away on the street. Just on the street, 1,000 people, not one person, not a
Wow.
hundred. So if people passing away on the street, either hunger or sickness or overdose or fentanyl, and a lot of young people also. So who are responsible for those life that is missing and lost and mentally ill? Why should we? Why should we, the property tax owners and property business owners or business taxpayers or anyone who works so hard they continue to pay taxes, wages, and to supply it to the government gangsters that support the drug dealers by giving them free needles to fit their habit, meanwhile treating us and not protecting us. We have all those gangsters in the government, overdose, drug dealers on the street, and the people are suffering. And so when they arrested 90 people related to drugs, so that's my question. Did they really stay in the jail for 72 hours? And after 72 hours, what happened to them? Did the drug dealers pay restitution for the damage that caused in San Francisco? Because it it I'm not sure if people know, an average person, if the government arrests one person, it costs approximately between $200 to $300 to detain a person overnight in jail.
Now,
So,
now, Paloma, you wanted to
Wow.
talk about this? The U.S. military is getting ready to launch airstrikes on Mexico. Is that what is your
That's what they
reason?
posted. That's what they posted. I just, I don't know. I see that being very, very difficult. Because I mean, that's a total violation of international boundaries, you know?
Yeah,
Um, and
I haven't heard anything of it
so
happening. I did see something where they're flying a lot of drones along the border, catching them with the trying to sneak in with the drugs now. No, that's not stopping the
Well,
ones
yeah,
coming in from
that's different though.
Canada.
That's the border though. But the actual like the cartel hubs and everything, they are most of them are not near the border. They would be like in central Mexico, you know,
Like,
farther
you know,
south. They
Yeah.
wouldn't be near the border. But that's what they posted just today, from what I understand. So
is it something where he would get permission from her in Mexico to say, okay, you can hit this
they
particular
may
area?
have some sort of deal because this is what I heard before, that they were going to train some of the Mexican National Guard or the Mexican
Yes.
military. But as far as the actual U.S. Using their own military to come in here and exercise any type of force or authority, I mean that would be.
Well, they
I mean, that
definitely would
would
have to
be
do it in
almost.
coordination with Mexico. That would be the only
They
way.
would have to do it in coordination with Mexico. It wouldn't be something
That's
that the
right.
U.S.
That's
would
right.
just be able to do on their own. Now, I don't know if President Claudia Sheinbaum would actually allow that. So I don't know. It's something that we have to kind of wait and see. And I haven't seen a response from her. I'm sure in the next couple hours I'll find something. I've been looking online now to see if I can find anything. I'm going to keep on looking now.
Yeah,
But it
it's
just, again,
it was about 8 hours ago, so you probably won't see anything till the morning and stuff like that.
well,
Before
she's
I
very
forget, I want you
responsive.
to talk about you were once kidnapped by the cartels, right? I want you to talk about how.
Well, I was kidnapped more by an organized crime group in near Mexico City. They're not necessarily related to drugs or anything. They're more of an authority because we have a lot of corruption, a lot of organized crime too.
Mm.
And we were kidnapped for 3 days,
Isn't that
and
many?
all of them ended up going to jail because they kidnapped myself, and I believe there was 8 of us total. They had us in a in a former jail prison building that was not being used,
Okay.
and it was just this orchestrated. Oh, it was so horrible. And the reason why is because they took advantage of the fact that the mayor or one of the mayors or one of those, the governor or the mayor, had resigned, and there was nobody in charge. So while there was nobody in charge, these people just, they went to town doing whatever they wanted. They just took full advantage of what was going on, and that, that lack of supervision that they had temporarily, and they did whatever they wanted. So they kidnapped myself and about, like I said, I think about 8 other people. We didn't all get to see each other. They had us in different places within the building. This facility that used to be a prison, I guess, or at least a holding unit place. And so it was, to be honest with you, it was terrifying.
They were threatening to kill you, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was weird because this is so random, but the person that was basically in charge, I was a woman, right? And she ended up in jail eventually. But she was a woman, she was a lesbian. And oh my God, she gave me preferential treatment. That's the only thing I can tell you at the time. It was so it was so strange because here you are basically, I mean, kidnapped by this person
You just
holding
keep
you against
smiling
your
at her and
will.
stuff.
How
What,
old were
smile or
you?
wink?
This
What?
is about 10 years ago. No, this
You
was
won't guess. We won't guess her age because she definitely looks young.
Well, I was like,
I know I am young.
Yes, you are.
how did they get you? I mean, where did they get you and kidnap you and then 8 other people?
um they came to our place of business
Mm.
They just grabbed you there, right?
in the middle of the day,
And they went
because
free.
when you have organized crime, they could do anything they want. They own Mexico. They could get away with anything they want. And they pretended they had this order to get us,
Mm.
and eventually the ones that ended up getting us out was the US embassy.
Wow.
They
It
actually
was the
came.
US embassy, but it was really strange because I was telling you that this woman was actually, to me she was really nice because apparently she liked me. She even said, you know, once you pay us and you get out of here, maybe you want to come to dinner with me. And I was like, you gotta be
I'm gonna go to dinner with my
like
kidnapper,
you
right?
really you really have no
Hell
shame, do
yeah,
you?
right?
Like she was literally asking me if I wanted to go to dinner with her in this floating restaurant on a river on a lake. And it was one of the most traumatizing experiences in my life, probably
You were there 3 days?
3 days. Yeah. It was really, really traumatizing.
I'm surprised they
And it
didn't
was the
beat you.
American embassy who eventually got us out.
I'm surprised they didn't beat you or anything. They probably beat some of the other ones, but not you, right?
So they
No, no,
extort you for money?
they did threaten us. They did threaten us, and they wanted $100,000 from each one of us. And towards the end, we only ended up giving them about 20.
Well, you did
And
give money.
so,
That's a lot of
yeah,
money,
but that's
$20,000.
but yeah, but we had to leave. I didn't go back in almost, I think, about 3 years
Wow.
Oh, it took you a while to even because you were afraid to go back to that
because
area.
you know, it was horrible because we realized that somebody told us that they had an entire notebook with our lives, with our names, with pictures of our cars, of our homes, everything. They had us
Wow.
completely analyzed.
Wow.
I don't know how long they were investigating us for. And they knew everything about us. So the only place where I felt safe was in America at the time, you know? And so I left for a few years, and I didn't follow up because I was like, no, you know, if we follow up, they're gonna kill us. They're gonna kill us. But
Mm.
other people actually did. Some of the family members of all the people of the other people that ended up that also got kidnapped. They I'm not sure what process exactly they followed, but they did end up putting them in jail. They did go to jail eventually.
Mm.
About
Probably
two
didn't have
years later,
private
they all got
investigators
arrested.
because a lot of your cops are on the take too, aren't they?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's all corrupt. It's all one corrupt system. So what I was saying also is that
Mm.
our current president right now, Claudia Sheinbaum, her hands are pretty tied.
I've heard
Because
other
think about it,
YouTubers
we have
saying that the cartels could take her out if they wanted to, because they've
they
actually
can
killed your leaders.
they
They've killed
can
some of your
yeah.
leaders before, right?
Wow.
Oh yeah, they can take her out. They can take her out if they really want to. They 100%. About 6 years ago, 7 years ago, in 2018, one of the towns where I spend a lot of time at, the entire city, the entire town was the lights went out. It was just
Mm.
one dark, completely dark town.
Mm.
Okay, no, not one light, and that was a cartel coming in. They shut down the entire town, every bulb, everything, every street light,
Mm.
everything. They shut it down because they were coming out to get the president out of his house, and they didn't want any cameras
Wow.
or anybody filming anything or
Wow.
anybody seeing them, and because he wasn't complying with them, and he was a local
Wow.
mayor. Let me tell you, he deserved it
It was pretty bad,
because
huh?
he was probably more corrupt than they are, you know.
That's hard to do.
But that's the type of power that these people have. So that's why the presidents have to be very careful because I don't know if you guys heard about this, but a couple years ago they arrested El Chapo's son. Do you guys remember that? I don't know if it was like two
Yeah,
or
yeah,
three
yeah, yeah,
years
yeah.
ago.
Yeah, I heard about it.
And they started burning down the entire town until he was released.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
They
they
started
rioted.
killing people and burning down the town. Yeah. No, not riot. They were literally like kidnapping people and burning them. And I mean, it
Wow.
was horrible, you know?
Oh,
And the government did nothing. The military did not intervene. What happened to the
Well,
president, governors,
like I said,
leaders?
they have just as much power. So it would just turn into
Wow.
this full blown
it was
war
a
if they
war. It was
did.
a war. It really is.
It's a war.
Wow.
And so
Yeah.
what they have to do is they have to basically comply with the with the cartel's requests and whatever they want, because otherwise,
Blackmailed.
obviously, hundreds of civilians, if not thousands of civilians, are going to die, plus
Wow.
whatever the military members and everything else, they're they're going to have major losses too. So they eventually released him within a couple days, or I think it took about 3 days, and he was released. So
You think
it's
the
Wow.
military could shut him down, but even that they can't.
well, and they also said that President Claudia Sheinbaum was going to file a lawsuit against the U.S. Department of Justice for what they had done to as far as all the weapons that were sent to Mexico, because back,
Wow.
I think at the beginning of the year, they released an investigation, a memorandum regarding all these weapons that had been sent to Mexico.
So
And so
Who
she's
sent it to them
trying.
from United States? State
Yeah,
Department.
they've been getting
Obama,
them sent from the
Obama,
United States. Yeah,
Fast and Furious.
yeah, exactly.
I was going to
Oh.
change the screen because we lost her for a minute and see if that make any difference.
Hmm.
Nope, she's still.
No,
We
it's
lost you
me.
for a minute.
I shut off the
Okay.
camera for a second.
Okay, let me share this. So, Ellen, go ahead and talk about this, which I'm bringing
Well,
up.
well, it's kind of new for me because I am not in Mexico, but I'm from a different
It's not that
country.
bad in San Francisco yet.
And I'm in a different country. I was born and raised in China, and if you go to China right now, it's very safe. I could say maybe China is number two, the safest country. Number one is Singapore that I know of. You go there, and
Wilma,
if
you muted
you
yourself.
do anything that is like you're
Yes.
selling drugs,
Okay.
and people can, I mean, the government officials, the police can, the law enforcement can get you real fast. Within 10 minutes, you get caught, and they have a new rule everywhere. They put it in there and say, reminder, do not selling illegal drugs, and if you get caught, you get executed, like that.
Yeah.
So if the government leaders, I'm talking about United States right now, if they wanted to end illegal drugs, they themselves need to end their illegal practices, like in San Francisco.
A lot
They
of them are
give
on the
free
take.
needles for illegal
Exactly.
activities.
That's exactly what President Sheinbaum said. What you're saying.
Yes. Yeah. The government in many of the government cities, and I mean the blue cities, they supported and supply illegal needles for them to shoot illegal drugs, and they call them harm reduction. Those are all evil actions. If they want people
Right.
no drug, the first thing is that no drug. No means no. Okay, 100% no drug, but not telling the lie, give them the needles and supporting the drug dealers. And I personally believe many of the law enforcement, or maybe some of the police, are related to the gangsters who are selling illegal drugs. Otherwise, the police will not passing through and not
Well,
doing anything,
this
and
ties into it
not
too.
saying
That
anything.
your billboard was on illegal sex trafficking, and they called that racist. To talk a little
Yeah,
bit
look
about
at my
that.
billboard. That was 2019. It says "Stop Slavery and Human Trafficking in San Francisco." And then what did they call me? They call me racist. They call me terrorist. They tell me this is quite a number of people and say, "Go back to China. You don't belong here," and calling me terrorist. I put a billboard in there because San Francisco, we had missing people. We had missing homeless people in here. Maybe they are trafficked for organ harvesting, and the homeless people are dying on the street. Meanwhile, the politicians counting their money all the way to the bank. To them,
Right. Exactly.
the homeless people are the number for them, like number one homeless, number two. And these homeless people, they are repeatedly using by different politicians. So if people never know about San Francisco, we had approximately 1,000 nonprofit organizations that collaborate, and about 200 nonprofit agency that mainly support services to homeless, mentally unstable, or health issues, and all this are coordinated. It's called the Cartel services and manufacture a homeless complex. I personally go out on the street and talk to drug dealers, prostitutes, and do street ministry, preach the good news, and tell people to repent and come back to Jesus. And as I go out there to do outreach, I spoke to many people, and I spoke to a lot of drug dealers. They're selling drugs. They're teenagers, they're young people, and they don't even speak English. That
Right.
means they're
Wow.
controlled by cartels, and they're supported by politicians and law enforcement. Otherwise, they
Well, a lot of
cannot
the
do
border
that.
crisis is a lot of these nonprofit organizations pumping people across the border as
Well,
well.
Yeah.
according, yes, you know what we need? We need the new department that Elon Musk, that is the department director. I personally want them to follow through with all the money that has been used by the drug abusers, mental health issues, and homelessness, and all those nonprofit receiving the money. If they can have a function with AI to trace those money, I want to know how much money they corrupted, and I want every penny back to me because I am a taxpayer.
Would you believe that someone told me once that while in jail, it was easier to get drugs while in jail?
I believe that. You know how
I don't know if
they
you guys can believe
how
that, but that's what they
you know
claimed.
how the drug dealers selling drugs, they put it in their mouth, they put it in their
But
bud, the
well,
ash, uh,
they
and
actually
they
had
put it.
drones fly over the prison and drop some of the stuff
Oh,
in.
no,
But a
no,
lot of the
but in
prison
the old
guards are bringing them
times
in.
before the drunks, they use their body. Okay, women
Yeah.
use their private part, they put the drugs and get into and sell them. This is the question that people should be questioning. If any mayor, city council, governor, if they keep telling you the same thing and nothing happened, now President Trump and the new team really going after everything that is abuse and waste with all those money that we
Oh,
have. And what did they call him?
back.
Racist, white supremacy,
Yeah,
and
they called you a
Nazi.
racist for this billboard because it happened to have a
Exactly.
black person on it, I guess.
Yes. Look at my billboard. They removed my billboard within 3 days, 4 days, and they call me terrorist. They call me a racist, and they told me to go
Does
back to
that look
China.
racist to you, Paloma?
No.
It was about sex trafficking. The little girl was being taken
Yeah,
and
traffic.
sold, you know?
Yeah, traffic.
So,
And so anyway, and I spend a lot of money put that billboard in, but people call me and that, but I don't give up. Whoever call me all this craziness going on, I just tell them, I look, we are in campaigning, and I'm competition to be a mayor and to save San Francisco and make San Francisco safe and clean. In fact, that's my local for running, make San Francisco safe and clean. And because I was the only Republican candidate, a woman, an immigrant, and a mother, and a Christian running, and these people hated me my guts for what I said. And because I know what's going on in San Francisco, and I was being bullied, harassed, and I when I was campaigning, like last year, 2024, I got eggs thrown at me. I got people throw coffee on my tables when I campaign. I got people hit
Really?
me. I got people hit my car. Yes, twice, and all this
Wow.
craziness. And
they
this
were
tells me,
getting pretty physical at her
yes, because I
because
put
she
it
had a
them.
chance.
I put a billboards and campaign cards. Uh, Make America Great Again. Vote Trump 2024. Make San Francisco safe and clean. Vote Ellen for mayor. And that's what I did. And people hate it so much. And
Paloma,
then
when
I
you
hate
were
it.
campaigning, did you ever get attacked? Well, you got
I
attacked
remember
one
that
at the border.
I didn't even really campaign.
Oh,
I because of everything, because of the lawfare that they started against me. But I did get physically assaulted before. Remember? Do you remember
Like
me getting
border
physically
type stuff,
assaulted?
yeah. Border type stuff, yeah.
I got thrown on the street on the ground,
wow.
Ellen. They threw
Wow.
two men. One of them was like 6'2", the other one was like, I don't know, like 6 feet. They threw me on the ground and they busted my
Wow.
knee, and the cop did
How
nothing. The
many
San
people?
Diego,
How many people in there?
there were like 500, 600, and I was just me and my boyfriend, and this one guy that was protecting us. He was security, and just three of us, and the cop did absolutely nothing. He told me I deserved it for being there.
Oh my God.
He said you deserve it because you know
Wow.
you shouldn't be
Make a
here.
police report. I make police reports. So when I was campaigning, this is last year, and I believe it's September or October. I forget which month. So I was campaigning outside San Francisco State University, and I put a table there, and me and my other young men, African American young men, and Caucasian women, and me, I'm Chinese. So we have white, black, and yellow. Okay, we are campaigning outside university. There's one Caucasian came to me and pour out coffee on my table and damaged my billboard, and they damaged my speaker. So I chased after him because he get my flag, the United States flag, and run and go. And it says F Trump, because I have a Trump 2024 flag in there. So anyway, and then I call the police. The police do nothing. Nothing. All the police say, well, it's a property. What's a damage of property? I said, no, this is a hate crime. This
Yeah,
is a hate crime against
it
conservative
is.
candidate. Okay, so and the other one is that like weeks later, I drove my car to downtown near City Hall. Somebody throw an egg from my window and try to hit me and miss me, so it go to my car. I was just next to it. So you see how hateful people are. Um, all I
They
did is
must have been
campaign with
rich
Trump
for the price of
2024
eggs.
and Ellen
That's good.
2024. Okay, so a lot of this is what I learned between Democrats and Republican. So if I don't agree with Democrats, I talk about it. I do not have to use profanity. I don't push people. I just debate about it. But if Democrats do not like me, they are getting physical and violent, real
Yeah,
violent people.
Almost
That's
had
why
that a little bit.
I think,
Quite a
I
bit.
think, in my opinion and my experience, many of those Democratic supporter people, they are demon possessed. They
I
definitely
know.
not.
Yeah,
Then the action tells me that they worship the devil or Satan or evil, anything that
Well,
they
some
do,
of them, I
because
think.
it's inhumane. Because if you don't like me, I didn't do anything damage to anyone. All I did is sit on the street. Vote for Ellen for mayor. Make San Francisco safe and clean. Vote for Trump. Make America great again. I don't see
yeah.
anything that is wrong. We are campaigning. But why do they throw stuff at me and push me
Well,
and
actually, because
calling
it,
me
it came
names?
so close to the time before, they were really after you this the last time. I tell you.
This is yes. So this is what my personal observation. If Elon Musk and President Trump had an AI function and able to find San Francisco or any city or all cities in America, if they find any one, just one dead voters voted for anyone into the office, that means it's null and void. That means they're
Yeah.
cheating us.
Oh, there.
Okay,
Uh,
that's my opinion, because I have a lot of people told my face and say, Ellen, we love you, we supported you, and we voted for you. For all the people that has been telling me, and I counted my vote, I have a lot more vote than they gave it to me. San Francisco
yeah,
take
it's
30
corrupt out there.
days, a month to tell you whether that you lose or win. So in my experience, last November 5th, the election day, on the night of election, me and my friend, we went to the counting ballot places. The
Oh,
counting ballot is not even arrived. The mayor already announced that he won.
before we go too far, you're both California people. What do you
Yes.
think of
Yeah.
Kamala Harris running for governor out there and her
Oh, and
chances?
then we'll see hell in California. Hellish. We already
No,
in hell
I don't
already.
think.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't think that would work. I don't think with everything that just happened with Newsom. I think that
Mm.
California has really started to realize that it's not just a campaign, a political campaign. I think
Moving?
we're pretty right on everything that we've been saying. I mean, look at what just happened.
Yeah.
How many thousands of people lost their homes?
Hmm. Yeah,
I would
and
say
LA
for
has
the
been
last
the
destroyed.
the
in LA
fires, no
fire, I think
water.
it's more than 12,000 house
Wasn't that
that
where
is
you lived,
lost.
Paloma?
What's that?
Wasn't it that fire where you lived? You used
No, it
to
was the
live there.
district where I ran, though, Pasadena and part of the
Okay.
district,
Los Angeles fire. I
Los
have no idea
Angeles.
for
Yeah,
the name of the city right now.
Altadena, Pasadena, Malibu. I mean, Hollywood. West Hollywood. A lot of those areas were affected. Everywhere. It was everywhere.
And a lot of them can't rebuild
Well,
No, you
no, because a
cannot.
lot of them didn't even have insurance. So
because they
I
took it
just
away the last 30 days before it happened. It's almost like they planned it.
Wow. Yeah, to make
Allstate and all
it
those
into
insurance
city.
companies canceling. It's like they knew. It's like they got advance notice on what was going to
Or like
happen. I mean,
Malibu, the same thing happened in Malibu.
Well, yeah,
Guess
and
what
I mean,
happened
I
in
know
North
there's,
Carolina? The same thing.
and
Every
I know
one of
there's a
them
lot of
knew just ahead of
there's a
time.
lot of rich people in Malibu, but a lot of people are just regular people too that
Mm.
don't have the
A
means to
lifetime
rebuild. You know
savings.
what I mean?
Yes, a lot of regular people.
A lot of regular people.
Everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
bring this up,
So
Ellen. You
so
wanted to talk
maybe
about this? You wanted to talk about this?
I wanna share with people, if people understand, even the Democrat people. I used to be a Democrat for 22 years, but because I was not born in this country, everything happened in California for the last 20 years. It's unbelievable. Illegal drugs become legalized, and it's the same politician winning the public position over and over by design. Now we learn it's a dominant machine flip. And then California, they have a law. It's illegal to ask a voter for an ID to prove that they are that person. So you know that we are illegally. Our government is illegal right now, to my knowledge, about Constitution. And California supported illegal to give them a driver's license. They don't have to take a test or anything. Just give them a license. They said it's for ID
Well, in
purposes.
local elections, illegals are voting, right?
It
They
is
do allow
illegal
it.
voting because you don't know if the person. So
Just like New
I
York, illegals were voting in New York.
Oh, they are. Absolutely are.
did you hear about those ID people that same person voted for how many times in different cities?
Oh my gosh.
Well, we don't know until they proof, but if it is coming from Elon Musk's mouth, it is from the investigation. So if people wanted to go to learn more about what's going on and government efficiency about that people vote, they know how many people vote. So if Elon Musk is sharing with us that 120 old 100 years old 120 years old plus up to 360 years old, more
Yep.
than 13 million people.
They're
So
also
can you
catching.
imagine these people, that people also voted?
They're
Can you
also
see that
getting Social
people?
Security somehow.
Yeah, if social security people have 120 years old to 300 years old, more than 13 million people in America. So can you imagine this, that people voted also? Can you imagine that people? I said it. If Elon Musk had a ability, the ability to investigate each city to find out if they have even one, okay, just one dead voters, then all the government functions should be null and void because it's not
Mhm.
legal for a dead person to vote that person
Right,
into a government, right?
right.
Yes.
I was
So,
just showing you I'm blocked on Twitter. I can't watch you on Twitter.
Now
well,
let me share something with you guys that I recently interviewed a lady in Pennsylvania, right?
mm, mm,
She was in and out of prison for 6 years because of drugs. It all started when she was 15 years old, but by talking to her, I got a lot of insight about things that I kind of always just imagined, but I never heard them from a firsthand account from someone, right? And
mm,
so basically what she explained to me is that since she was really young, she started with depression
mm,
because it all starts, again, as I told you guys earlier, with the what we eat, right? The
yes.
Yeah,
really
you were very helpful on
poor,
what I
The
eat.
chemtrailing, the spraying water, food, and
For people
poisoning.
out there,
Yes.
Paloma helps me a lot on my eating. Very good.
the poor American diet. It's so awful. And then
Yes.
also the lack of culture when it comes to a lot of family values. It really America really needs to focus on rebuilding those
Traditional
family
family.
values. Yeah, just
Traditional
the
family.
basis. Yeah, and so then she started um she got into drugs when she was really young. I think
Mm,
14 or 15 years old. But see what happens is that instead of America's system is designed to be in a way where instead of helping people get out, they
mm.
keep them in the system for
That's
decades.
right.
until they ultimately die, or they've gotten so much money from each person. I mean, think about it. Think about it. Anywhere between obviously the police departments, the courts, the judges, the hospitals, the drug companies. I mean, everyone involved. Everyone involved. It's such a huge business for America. Drug consumption is a huge business for America. That's why they're not fighting it from within.
There's
That's
payoff.
why they haven't done
People are
anything
getting
about it. Why? I
paid
mean,
off.
think of how many people turned from she started with just a marijuana possession charge.
That's
And then
right.
from there it went to something else. And then what they do is they keep you addicted when you're inside the jails because of the food that they feed you. They feed you these high sugar, these high carb diets that when you come out in this absolute depression. And it's not necessarily because you've been in jail. It's because of what you went through while you were in jail, which was your diet, the dopamine, the lack of dopamine, and the addiction. They come out diabetic. They come out with high blood pressure. They come out with all kinds of diseases. She says that when she came out of jail, she had the need to eat sugar packets
Mm.
because it was the only thing that made her feel better
Got that
instead of trying
craving.
to go
The
to drugs.
craving.
Yes.
The cravings.
Yeah. For
And
all
they
those out there, Paloma helped me a lot on my diet since my stroke, especially. FYI, helped me a lot. I was supposed to have
I
triple heart bypass.
know.
I was supposed to have triple heart bypass. They went in to test my heart, and I got my heart from 20% up to 40% flow there. Since then, it's gone up to 53% flow. Normal for a guy my age is between 50 and 72, I think it is. So I'm heading for that
So
72.
technically, you're within the normal
I'm
range,
just
basically.
barely in that range. I'm getting there. I'm working on it.
But I mean, you avoided the surgery. You know, he got a stroke, and all of us,
Major.
his friends, we were, obviously very concerned about him.
Ellen,
And
you
we,
guys playing for me, help me. Ellen definitely helped.
About what?
yeah, no,
I'm a health
but
person, so I talk
After
about
my
healthy
stroke, I was
eating, healthy
100%
habits.
paralyzed. I was on a breathing machine, a heart machine, everything. They thought I was dead. I
Wow.
was technically dead. They brought me back. I was dead.
yeah,
Since we talk about that, let me talk about real quick about food and medicine. Okay,
Go ahead.
food is medicine to our health, and a lot of people don't realize that. If you compare to people born before, like my grandma's and parents' age, so anyone under 40 years old, we are in a controlled society with the media controlling us. Anyone less than 20 years old, they are using all these AI phones and TVs and pornography control all these desires. However, the people in America, if you compare to the people before 1970s, there's not a lot of obesity in America. There's almost no diabetic, hypertension, ADHD, anxiety, depression, autistic kids. It's all has to do with injection. The injection they lie about flu shots, vaccines and all this craziness. So I now pay attention, learn more and more since I was wrongfully terminated in 2022 because I did not accept that bioweapons
Jib.
now we know are so depopulate. It's a depopulate tool and make
yeah,
people a lifetime customers. So now I learn food is medicine. So if we don't have good food and natural food, and our immune system is
True.
impacted by that. And the very important thing is for people to know God literally gave us cheap and very natural food. They are called fresh ginger, fresh garlic, fresh parsley, fresh onion, green onion, anything that has herbs in it, the natural herbs, not the man-made with seedless apple, seedless pear, seedless grapes, and they're so sugar by design. They
GMO
modify them, the
change.
GMO people, and make this GMO food and make us craving, fat, obese, diabetes, hypertension, and they make you a lifetime customer. It's called pharmakia.
Yeah,
It
they are. Absolutely.
has a snake
What
symbol
about the
in it.
bird flu? Are they pushing it in San Francisco or in Mexico?
It's all over the blue city and state. Remember, we have about 9 states that ban, absolutely ban, no more COVID-19. The injection thing, and
Another
but you
30
still
farms, they took all their food out of the
what?
farms.
But we still have, for example, in San Francisco and the Bay
Not
Area,
just
we have.
the meat, they took all the vegetables and everything from them too. How about in Mexico? Are they doing that at Paloma?
No, no, Mexico's a lot more free, but the one thing that is concerning is also the meat industry, because it's not, it's not
Yeah,
just that they're killing the animals, it's all the stuff they're putting in them, the
Yeah.
way they're
the
killing them.
animals.
Yeah, the hormones, the
Yes,
We thank Bill
antibiotics.
Gates for a lot of
yes.
that.
So
Yeah.
this
Bill
is what
Gates
we
is
learned
too.
lately about the eggs. The egg price in America right now is like $10.45 a US
They
dollar to
killed
buy a
over a million
dozen
chickens.
eggs. Because they kill the chicken, but they said that the chicken in America, that they have so many, the H1N5, whatever the N, the flu for the
Bird flu.
virus from the chicken or animals or whatever. Those are lies. Because Mexico is next to us, Canada is next to us, they don't have any, but why America has so many? It's because it's by design. They wanted to take down America so they can usher in the one world order government. It's called the globalist control, the communism control, and they wanted us, you and me in America, dead, so they can take over the rest of the people who are woke
I
people.
don't.
So the people who had a brain and who had a heart and a head talking like us, then they'll say, "Ooh, these people," you know. So if people, the vote people, I'm talking about Democrats,
Sandy,
Republican,
the answer is
anybody,
no.
anybody in
I was just
America, you
answering.
still at this time today that you still are sleepy and not waking up about our nation, you need to protect your body, you need to protect your family and children, especially the transgenderism, the DEI, all those craziness. Those are all
I've
evil.
had some D
Oh,
transers on here that are strongly against it. Someone asked
yeah.
if you two were related. I can't believe that.
No.
Yes, we are related. Of course,
I
we are
know.
related. We are
Sandy
human
asked if
beings
you were
and we're
related.
women. Of course, we
Yeah,
are
you kind of
related.
look a bit alike, but not that much.
Well, definitely, we are patriot people, and we are women. We are women with heart, and we fighting the same thing for quality of life and protect children. And anything illegal, we are against it, like illegal drugs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and again, it's all a big system too, though, and that's the one thing that we have to realize, it's a system that has been in place for years, that employs thousands and thousands of people
In that
in
industry.
America, that
Mm.
that a lot of private corporations profit from. So
Yes.
it's not as easy as, oh, let's kill the cartels and that'll be the end of it. That's really not how it is. I mean, I
Some of
wish it
that's true.
was that simple, but it's not.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I want people to understand, if Elon Musk and Trump and say, let's shrink the government, we should support them. The bigger the government, the
Hope
bigger
they put a
problems
dent in
that
it.
we are facing. So if Elon Musk said we only want 15% of the government, so be it. Because I used to work for San Francisco government. In my opinion, in my experience, many of the departments, they expanded for a purpose of extortion. They extort the system. They put us in the slavery system. So I can give it to you. For example, if we spend 8,500 US dollar a month for one homeless, with $8,500 a homeless a month in San Francisco, do you think that we still need homeless, or we still uh, want more homeless? You understand my question? I do it on purpose.
Yep, yep.
If with this much money, you think the politician wanted to end
They
homeless?
don't want to fix it because they make money off the
None of the
top.
politicians in San Francisco wanted to end homeless, because $8,500 a month a homeless, that if you can give it to your friends, so what do? They set up a lot of
Well,
nonprofit agency. All the homeless need
they're
is
skimming
a
money off the top.
home and
Now,
a job to
Ellen, tell how many
sustain.
empty buildings there is in San Francisco that they could put the homeless in, and they aren't doing it. Isn't
Remember
there
what I
like
just said?
thousands of empty buildings there in San
40%
Francisco?
empty buildings right now, and many of the
40%.
homes are for
Can you
sale in
imagine
San
40%
Francisco.
of the buildings are empty, and they can't somehow find a way to put, with billions of dollars they have, they can't put the homeless up in some of those buildings?
Okay, a lot of people don't
I was
Exactly.
understand
asking Ploma.
the money. The money goes
They need the homeless
70%.
issue in
Listen, you
order to
guys,
keep
let me
getting
let me
money in the
finish
budget.
this statement. 70% of the homeless budget go to administration. 30%, I would say no more
It's
than
sort of like in these
40%.
schools.
No more
Most
than
of it doesn't go to
40%
the
of the
teachers.
money going to the homeless. The homeless people need a home. People home treatment for mentally ill. But other than that, it's independent. But once you're homeless, they want you to be homeless for life. Otherwise, they will not have the money. So can you imagine one day when Elon Musk able to build this mini homes, it costs about $20,000 a home. You know that $20,000 a home. So all the homeless people, we had about a million people, 1 million people in America right now homeless. So we can build the homes and we have so many spaces and we have so much money
Is that a
because
good?
if they can spend $100,000 a homeless a year, they can just buy a home. It's not that expensive to have a mobile home.
Well,
You
houses
see
out
that
there are
people
awful
they are
expensive.
using the homeless as an excuse to get our public money for their own political gain. It's called
Yeah.
government gangsters. Exactly what
Well, somehow
Cash
once
Patel
they get in
is
power, they
talking
get
to
rich.
us. That's how they get money. So I'm waiting for them to be indicted, to be confiscated with all the access they have, and give it to the victim from homeless, victims from drug overdose, and anybody who are suffering from the governmental gangster run system. That's my opinion.
Someone asked
Yeah.
if they think if they're going to try to impeach Trump if they win the House. I guarantee they will.
Uh no, I don't
I
think.
don't think
I
so.
think they're
I don't think
no.
so.
I think
I
they
think
will.
they know at this point it's such a waste of time.
Well,
I
first
mean,
of all,
they're really attacking him on what happened with Zelensky yesterday. What do you guys think of of the meeting yesterday with Zelensky?
Uh,
it's a
I think
It's a
they
show.
got heat. Well, a show. Well, yeah, maybe.
It's a
Probably.
show.
I don't know. I think he uses that also to negotiate. So now when he comes back, he's going to get what he wants. Trump is going to get what he wants in the deal in order that thing. He should have had a ceasefire in the
Now,
meantime. Zelensky should
I
have a ceasefire while they negotiate this, and that's what Trump wanted. Is a
so
ceasefire so they can negotiate the details of it.
I'm gonna ask people to think. I'm not gonna give an answer, but I'm gonna challenge people. Whoever's having a heart to challenge. First of all,
Hmm.
pay attention to President Trump. We do not have one President Trump. We have different Trumps, different face, different heights.
What do you mean? You think there's more than one someone impersonating
Well,
him?
I'm just giving you a challenge. Number two, Zelensky. There's not only
Might
one
be
him.
different shoes.
The different eyes, different ears, different uh, texture. Same thing when Biden was alive. It's different Biden in the morning, different Biden in the afternoon. From the eyes blue to black eyes to the height, it's different, and also the ears are different. So I'm just asking people to pay attention. Even Trump is not one Trump. So something is behind the scene going on. We don't know what it is. Um, However, if our nation, are not working together, I don't care you Democrat, Republican, immigrants, rich people, poor people. We need this nation to work together to protect our own nation, America first. Anyone anyone oppose America first, these people should not be working for our government, because right now we have the Congress and the senators. They vote yes and no, yes and no, yes, no on open border, ID for voting. All this no coming from Democrats.
Yeah,
In my
I agree.
opinion, all the Democrats keep voting no to law and order and constitutional policies. These people should be, number one, removed from the government, and number two, they never should be in office.
Well,
And if they are related to child trafficking and pedophilia, they should be
there's a
executed
lot of pedos
and
in the
get
government.
away from our society, and so we can have law and order. So I'm waiting for that day to come, because I am a Christian. I believe that God is exposing all this evil wickedness, and God is going to deal with them, and so we can have our nation back. We cannot have a nation when all
So
those mockingbird media are lying to us, And the drug dealers definitely supported by politicians,
Oh,
and many
absolutely.
of the
Kickbacks. It's their own take. That politicians in Mexico are that way too. Someone asked you, Paloma, if you're running again. Where are you running again?
I mean, here's the thing. I moved away from California,
for good,
but
forever, or just
um,
temporary.
I mean, I thought
You
so. I
loved it.
thought
You used
so.
to love the LA area, but it's all trash now.
I
Mm.
thought so. But you know what? I mean, you know this. My heart is in California. I mean, I could be in other places because I do have homes in
Well,
other places, and I moved. I
well,
moved
you've
away
lived
from
in Florida,
California.
you lived in Pennsylvania, you lived in Arizona, you lived in Texas, right? Where
Wow.
else have you lived?
Texas, Arizona, Pennsylvania, New York,
When
California.
did you live in New York? Oh, you lived in New York City area, right? Oh, okay, that's right. That's a tough area to live
Yeah,
in, though.
and New York State too.
Okay,
And and
I'd
uh
welcome you.
and I thought I was done with California. I mean, I again, I but see the
It's a
thing is
hard
that my
place
heart
for a
is in
conservative
California.
to run, though, because it's so corrupt, and you know, you never get Pelosi out of there. Feinstein had to die while in there. Mitch McConnell's probably is close to it. All these politicians.
I know. It's something that I really got to think about over the next
Pelosi,
few months.
Maxine Waters is like way up there.
Well,
So
Well, we know what Maxine Waters does. We've seen her at work.
yeah,
But it's something that I really got to think about because I mean I could run in another place. I could focus on other things, but California, you can go back and watch my
well,
statements
people
since the
said
very
when
beginning.
California goes, the entire nation goes, because we have the Hollywood influence, we have the high tech industry, we have the farmers, the producers. So we have the immigration. California is number one, the biggest in population in a state. We have 13% of the total
well,
population.
you're
So
losing
we have
population
the
though.
money, we have the people, we have everything, the resources in California. That's why we call the Golden State. However, we also had a bunch of sick pedophilia leaders in government, and also a bunch of evil, wicked politicians. They meant to destroy, and they're working for the deep state shadow government. So I believe this year, 2025, is the turning point for California. That we hope that more and more church people are willing to be part of the participation in the government and education, and the influential areas. Church people should not be sit their butt inside the church and do nothing but hallelujah inside the church. They should be going out and be the light, just like Jesus did when Jesus was alive. Jesus came out to preach the good news. Jesus go out to heal the sick, to heal the cripple, open the blind. But if church people just wait for people to go into church, and that is not effective anymore. So I challenge people: if you claim a Christian, a pastor, and you belong and read the Bible, and you belong to a congregation, but you still vote for Democrats and you still register as Democrats, at least I'm challenging you. The Democrat Party are evil party. They are Nazis. They support KKK. They support segregation, and the Democrat people, they continue to support aborting human beings. I call abortion. They're not abortion. They're called murdering human beings, and they're supporting open borders for drug dealers and prostitution and pornography and anything that you name them bad, supported by Democratic Party leaders. I was a
Yeah.
Democrat for 22 years. I'll never forget everything that I voted. I did not know there's so many parties until God opened my spiritual
Now,
eye and see,
now
and I
both of you were
changed my party.
Democrats, right?
Huh?
Paloma,
No,
you
I've
were
never.
also.
My first time ever voting was Republican.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
We lost
I,
you
I
there.
never
I,
voted in my life until Donald Trump.
I never pay attention to what party. I only, because San Francisco has been controlled by one evil party, a demon red party, for 59 years. So when I became a citizen, naturalized citizen, that was in 1991, and they have a table out there. Oh, come on, vote and democracy, democracy, vote for Democrat. So I think if they have a Republican Party in there, I would be registered and vote for Republican. But because nobody ever educated me, so I just become a Democrat by their invitation. And until they did so much craziness, evilness, and I was like wondering why do they do that? Why?
You know, I noticed something, and I don't know if this is actually true or this is something that part of the smear campaign that they had going against me, and they made it up because they make up a lot of different things. I remember never getting involved in politics. I never voted. I never bothered with politics, right? And until President Trump. So obviously in 2016, I registered to vote. Early 2016, I registered. Hold on one second. For the first time in my life, I registered to vote. And I obviously registered Republican and everything else. I was very proud. I posted my I posted my email where I registered on the website, all that, And again, this could be completely fabricated because the people that run these smear campaigns against me, they fabricate a lot of stuff. And they claimed that I was registered as a Democrat.
They changed
I never
it
registered
maybe
before.
they illegally changed it without your knowledge.
They voted for you.
Well, yeah, they claim before I ever voted. I mean, they don't claim that I voted, but they claim that I was registered. I think as that was, but I wasn't registered at all.
They were probably voting for you. So
I don't know that they voted for me, but they posted something to the effect of me being registered as a Republican. So
I bet you they voted in the mail.
If I was, I could definitely tell you that it wasn't me because I didn't have any interest whatsoever in voting or getting involved. So that was, to me, that was the power of Donald Trump, of getting people that were not involved at all, like not involved whatsoever. I mean, Donald Trump took me. He took me from never having voted in my life, not knowing the difference between a Democrat and a Republican. He took me from there to a political candidate, to a congressional candidate. Like, that is the power of Donald Trump in only 7 years. Like, oh my God, if somebody would have told me in 2015, in 7 years, you're going to be running for office, for federal office, I would have been like, what? Like, and I became like Jerry Noses for about 5 to 6 years. All I could think about my entire day from waking up till the minute I passed out and went to bed was politics. And so I think in 5 or 6 years, I learned more than some people learn in 30, 40 years, because that has been my life.
Before you go, I want you to tell that post office story.
Okay, real quick. I think we have 5 minutes before you end. Because you said
it's because of getting this on certain platforms, you want to end for hour 20 because of the size of it.
Okay, well, real quick, I was attacked at a post office by this woman who just started calling me things and stuff like that, and because I was wearing a Trump hat, and I stood up to her, and she didn't realize how I was going to respond, and so it turned into a big deal. The video went viral. I got millions of views on the video, and it was kind of a big deal.
And then she was trying to lie and get the post office people to lie with her, right?
Yeah. And she was trying to take my phone from me because I was recording her, and it was a
she was a big girl though.
It was quite the ordeal.
She was twice your size, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was pretty tall. Lesbian. It was at a San Diego post office. I'm not the best at storytelling, but all I can tell you is that she got really aggressive with me for wearing a Trump hat. She called me a racist. She was this big, white, tall woman, and that looked kind of like a man, and she started physically attacking me and verbally attacking me.
Just wearing a hat to pushing you.
Really? If no one was there, she would have heard. Yeah. She would have actually heard it.
Yeah,
but she didn't back down.
Demonic actions. I tell you.
Yeah,
and I wanted fear out of you.
Yeah, and I stood up to her and I said, "Do not touch me." Yeah. I stood up to her and I got up in her face. She was a lot taller than me. I'm 5'2". She was sick, like 6'1", 6'2". And I stood up to her and I said, do not touch me. Do not touch me because I will not take it. Like it was really funny. And so
Then
the
she tried
video
to
went
lie.
really, really viral and got a lot of attention from the national media too.
Yeah. She used to guard the border too when they were coming across. We got almost 10,000 watching. Closing on this predictions on with the whole Trump thing right now and Doge. Are they going to be able to get these cuts? Now these are proposed cuts. He did cut the USAID. That's gone, and they're having a fit about that because they were giving money to Politico and BBC and all the millions and millions and millions of dollars. So, any predictions? Is he going to be able to
They
do
have
this
to keep
stuff?
going. They have to keep going. I mean, I'm sure there's so much more that they're going to find. And the bottom line is that millions of Americans are paying for this. And how many millions of Americans now live in poverty, live on limited SSI, while who knows who's getting
He's talking
billions of
about
dollars
sending a check back to us.
fraudulently, because that's what's happening.
They found so much. There's $4.7 trillion missing. They don't have any clue where it went. $4.7 trillion. So he's talking about sending people a check back. Like they're going to take 80% toward the deficit. The other 20%, they're actually taking more money from us than they should be in spending. Actually, there should be a surplus instead of a deficit because they take so much money.
Wow.
Money laundering is going out.
I have a story to share with you for another show that we do regarding the fraud that takes place in California through the social workers here in California.
Oh, Ellen probably knows a lot of money that disappears
because
out there.
I worked for the government for almost 20 years. I witnessed so much corruption within politicians, within those people in power.
All the money laundering, all the things that they do. Yep.
Yes, I publicly telling them if can you imagine when we don't have homeless, then they are dead. Because they need the homeless to be part of their campaign, to be part of the money.
Oh, okay.
That's why they have so much non-profit organizations. So
right, of course.
Back to the question real quick, that Jerry, about prediction. I believe that Elon Musk and Trump team people behind the scene to wake more and more people up because our government is illegally set up in 1913. The IRS is illegally set up a private foundation, and many of the people do not know Federal Reserve is a private entity, is not for the government. The UPS is run by private entities, not by US. So I hope that what Elon Musk said and will come to reality, that all those governmental people will be abolished, removed, and give them the incentive to have business and private entity. And then our government will be shrunk to 15%, and we'll just have minimized the government, then people will be prospered. We do not need a big government to give us a hard time. And I am waiting for them to abolish IRS, no more income tax, and also no more property tax like Elon is talking about, and that will save America.
That will save America. I mean, so much has to change in America because it's just not working. It's not working.
Well,
yeah, you don't want to be as corrupt as Mexico, right?
We know the lie that the politician is part of our problem, and they are part of the cartel, and they are part of the globalist plan, and they are paid by the the plan related to the one world order government, which is the satanic leaders. They're Satan. Okay, they don't like God. They don't love Jesus. They, in fact, the opposite of everything Jesus does. Jesus said, "I'm the way, I'm the truth, I'm the life. Without me, people will not go to heaven." So I pray that America, the people will come back to God and restore our nation, so our next generation to come will honor God, honor our parents, and will follow the 10 Commandments, and our nation will be prospered, peace and prosperity to all nations.
Yeah,
we're close to time. I just hang on. I'll end this, and I just wanted to tell you what's going on here. Okay, so hang on. I'm going to end it. All right. Thank you both.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Stay on. No.
Good night, everybody.
Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye.